Just pick the
Seven.
receiver up and set it back down.
We'll call this meeting to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading of the call.
Dear Supervisor, please be advised that the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors will meet at 7 p.m. on September 15th, 2025 in the county boardroom. All county board members' claims are due in the county clerk's office by noon on September 5th, 2025, so they can be prepared for audit committee approval. Sincerely, Mary Martin, County Clerk.
Okay, roll call.
Bridget Turner. Here. Stacy Klein. Here. Richard Seisha.
Here.
Lori Severson. Andy Todd. Richard Anderson.
Here.
Kevin Adams.
Here.
Dick Miller.
Here.
Kevin Whalen.
Here.
John Austin.
Here.
Dawn Trug.
Here.
Robert Becker.
Here.
Renee Lyon. Here. Kellen Nelson.
Here.
Dave Larson.
Here.
Jeannie Nutter.
Here.
Ron Johnson.
Here.
15-2.
2 absent. Okay. Certify open meeting law requirements be met with posting and notification. We have a 10-item agenda. Looking for approval.
Move to approve.
Motion by Bridget Supervisor Turner and seconded by Supervisor Johnson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Pat, approval of the minutes from August 225. Motion by Supervisor Nutter, seconded by Supervisor Anderson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, approved. Appearances, Western Dairyland.
Anna is not here.
Oh,
Dale is instead, and he will do a fine job.
okay. Thank you.
Push your button. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
There you
All right.
go.
Thank you, and thank you for the vote of confidence leading up to me speaking. My name is Dale Carls. I'm with the Western Dairyland Economic Opportunity Council. I hope most of you are aware that we have a main office just down the road at 23122 Whitehall Road in Independence. That's been our main office for decades and decades. We are a large nonprofit that goes back to 1966. Our founding is during the War on Poverty with Lyndon B. Johnson, actually. And I can give you a 3-hour presentation on that sometime if you're interested.
Don't do that.
Tonight I've got 10 minutes, right? Okay. I did give you a handout, a brief handout. It has a map on, and I realize those joining us online do not have that handout. But if you go to our website, westerndairyland.org, and click on the About Us page, you'll see the same map that I'm showing everyone here in the meeting room. So that map just illustrates where we're located, where we serve. It's Eau Claire, Buffalo, Trempealeau, and Jackson counties. Independence is our main office because that's right in the middle of our service area, and it's always been a goal of ours to provide services in rural areas. When you get up to Eau Claire or down to La Crosse, there are a lot of services and a lot of nonprofits, but when you get into the rural areas, we many times are the only services available. On the right-hand side, I do have a list of the programs. Again, you can go on our website, westerndairyland.org, find a list to all of those services ranging from Head Start to homeless services to women's business development, transportation, home ownership. The list goes on and on. A lot of people do ask me, how do we come up with those? We do a community needs assessment every 3 years. On the bottom right-hand corner of the map handout, you'll see we just finished one. Hopefully some of you were surveyed or joined a focus group or answered a questionnaire that I sent out in the community asking people, what do we need to serve everybody in our communities? And the top 3 were housing services, childcare, and occupational training this year. So whenever possible, we're going to try and focus our mission, which is to alleviate poverty. We're going to try and focus on those 3 areas where the community has an expressed need. Of course, that doesn't always line up with the funding, so it is a little bit of a juggling game. We know what the community needs. We know what funding is available. We're going to make those meet. Currently, one of the biggest areas of need, as evidenced in our community needs assessment, is housing services. That's everything ranging from homelessness to evictions to housing scarcity. in big cities and in rural towns. We have been working quite a bit with the City of Eau Claire to address the need of homelessness in Eau Claire. That's why we do have an office up in Eau Claire also. If you look at the map, that's where the population is, so we do have a pretty big presence up there. We've undertaken one of the biggest projects in my time at Western Dairyland, which goes back almost 20 years. We're launching a capital campaign to open up a day resource center to serve the unhoused. This is going to replace several other buildings in the City of Eau Claire. Right now, we have several options for the unhoused that are not serving their needs well enough. We have a warming shelter that is in an abandoned pawn shop. The roof is caving in, there's mold all over the carpet. It doesn't have any showers. We need to do better than that. We have an office on Wisconsin Street for Western Dairyland that is not accessible to anyone with limited mobility. And we don't have any private meeting spaces, and our food pantry is in the basement. And we need to do better than that. So we're bringing many services together under one roof at a new location, and we're partnering with Hope Gospel Mission, the City of Eau Claire. We're partnering with Mayo Clinic Health Systems, and we're trying to get about 40 different nonprofits together. Right now, we're at about 20, all to come together to share space, share resources, and work together to support the homeless population in Eau Claire and move people towards permanent housing. And that project is going to start very soon. I'm learning a lot about capital campaigns, so forgive me, but we're currently in the silent phase, even though I'm talking about it with everyone, and I'm sending out press releases, and I just launched a website today that's connected to the Western Dairyland website. But you're all invited to our launch event on November 13th up in Eau Claire, and that's the postcard I sent out to you, because it is a very ambitious fundraising campaign. And then the brochure that I handed out also, it's the big trifold brochure, goes into more details about what that project entails. So please read up about that, check out the websites, westerndairyland.org, and then the companion website is actually called onebetterway.org also, with more details about that capital campaign. Now, I talked really fast. I could answer questions if there are any. Okay.
Now muted.
Okay. If there are any questions, I can answer questions about anything Western Dairyland does historically, currently, and in the future.
I just want to say I did tour One Better Way with Anna a couple weeks ago, and it happens to be the old Western Regional office. I worked in that building for 10 years. It's going to be the perfect spot. And she showed me all the different things, like even residents from Mayo Clinic are going to have a little office, medical doctor doing their residency to meet with people. I mean, it's totally amazing how all these organizations came together to provide services to people who are in desperate need. And unfortunately, while I was there with Anna, there was some person I assumed was an unhoused person laying next to the building, sleeping with his head on his backpack. So waiting for the place to open.
Yep, and that's not an uncommon sight
Right.
When you get to Eau Claire, and I know the same things are happening in La Crosse. I do want to caution people to kind of stereotype the homeless population because what you described is a reality, but there are dozens and dozens, I'm going to say hundreds of individuals in the city of Eau Claire who are balancing on this fine line of being housed and being unhoused. It's families with children. It's a lot of people who could sit down in this room and blend right in with this audience here. So you can't really put a label, put one single piece of stock imagery on the homeless population because it's individuals, it's families, it's kids, it's adults, it's senior citizens too. It's veterans, and we're going to be serving all of them at our new day resource center. Thank you.
Any questions for Dale?
Dale, could you just remind us how many square feet this building is?
Oh, gosh, how many square feet is that
Do you
building?
remember, Jeannie? I know Anna told us one evening, but
Hope Gospel has one side of the building, and then Western Dairyland will be, it was a big building because my
it
office
is
was
big.
there, health department was there, DOR was there.
So I don't have the actual square footage.
It's big.
But the day resource center and warming shelter part of the building will be about 1/3 of the building, and that will be bigger than any other warming shelter Eau Claire has had, with more amenities, showers, laundry, congregate meeting space, storage space. And then Western Dairyland has about 2/3 of the building, and when we move into it, we will have room for expansion. So looking to the future, we'll have room to expand our services. And that's our Housing First model, our rapid rehousing, family homeless shelter, case managers, our Fresh Start program for young adults, and our youth homelessness program. So we'll have plenty of room to grow also, which is really nice. That's the first time ever that we've had more than enough space.
Can you describe or tell us about the homeless population in the rural counties?
Sure, in the rural counties, it's a bit more hidden, okay? And it would be more in line with the populations. There are fewer homeless individuals in rural areas because the population is lower. The families we see, so Western Dairyland does have 6 homeless shelters for families with children. We have some in Eau Claire, we have one in Blair, we have one in Black River Falls, and we're trying to reopen one in Mondovi. And those shelters are for families with children. The traditional family I see go through those shelters are a single parent or a mother and father together with 2 or 3 young children. And they're facing different issues like it's health care is too expensive, it's legal issues, it's medical issues, it's job loss. During the pandemic especially. A lot of people lost their jobs, lost a lot of income, and people still have not recovered from that. I know it's hard to believe sometimes, but people recovered at different rates from that pandemic. So what we're seeing in rural communities is more families, and I say they're hidden, they're invisible because they find a way to get by. They're staying with a friend, they're staying with a teacher sometimes. The kids stay with a teacher or a friend while the parents sleep in the car. It's things like that, so you don't see them out on the street as much as you do in the larger cities like Eau Claire. I hope that answered your question. Yeah.
I had a question. Do we see an increase in homeless with the Hispanic or the Hmong community now? Or what is the view? I know people
Sure.
don't look at it closely, but for me, I worked with a lot of the Hispanics that when I was in high school, and I noticed that they were hidden in their homelessness also, just like you say, the rural. Any idea where they're at?
I don't have any specific data about that.
Okay.
I have anecdotal evidence that certain families, and I don't know what the demographics are of the families, but there are certain families that live in overcrowded situations. Like an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment has 10 people in it, something like that.
Right.
And that is a really hard situation because many times that doesn't get counted in the official data. They're not reporting themselves as unhoused. The school district is not reporting them as unhoused. No one knows about it, but it's certainly not a good enough living situation.
And many times there was no furniture in that 2-bedroom apartment when you had that large amount of people.
And I learned that. He commented that sometimes there's no furniture in apartments, and I learned that years ago, that is very true, that I can't just expect. I actually asked a coworker, I was trying to figure out a day in the life of a coworker, and I said, okay, you go into the client's house and you sit down at the kitchen table, what do you talk about? And she said, sometimes it's the fact that they don't have a kitchen table. And it really makes you take a step back and realize the situation some people are living in.
Any other questions? Hearing none, thank you, Dale.
Wait, we're not done.
Oh, she's not done.
Oh, you got more?
I guess maybe if you could address some of the issues facing Western Dairyland with proposed federal budget cuts. Like I know there's
Okay.
people are scared about what might happen to Head Start or daycare
Sure.
or just how Western Dairyland is managing those
Okay.
possible massive changes.
Sure. So Western Dairyland is a large, I believe we are the largest nonprofit in West Central Wisconsin. We employ approximately 175 employees with a budget over 20 million. That money comes with very strict guidelines. We get Head Start funds in, it has to be spent on Head Start. We get money in for a transportation program, it has to be spent there. About 75% of that budget is from federal funds. The rest of it comes from state sources, private foundations, the United Way, and personal, private donations from citizens in the community. So that 75% coming from the federal government that's a lot, and that's unusual. And recently we have had some, conflicting information from the federal government about the status of federal grants. We have been told that some of them would be paused. We've been told that some of them would not be renewed. Right now, Head Start seems to be in the clear. That was one of the first programs targeted for elimination in the federal budget. But there is we serve more than 400 children and their families in Head Start every single year. That's a lot of people who reached out to their legislators, reached out and told their stories. And it appears that Head Start reached the intended audiences and was included in the federal budgets. Right now, the federal government is going through a phase they call appropriations, and I'm learning a lot about it. And some funds are more at risk than others. We have to wait and see right now. All we can do is go out there, tell our stories. We've always talked to legislators on both sides of the aisle, gotten along with everybody, because our programs serve everybody who is struggling to get by. We don't play favorites. The federal government hasn't in the past either. So hopefully our programs will come through unscathed. The other program that has a large amount of federal money coming into it is LIHEAP, or WEEP. It's the Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program. When people call our office, they just say they need help paying their fuel bill, or they need help to keep the energy on in the winter. And that's a program that helps a lot of senior citizens and a lot of rural homeowners just get a few $100s every year to make sure they have enough money to keep the heat on in winter. That program, I'm hoping, comes through appropriations unscathed as well. So that's where we are right now. The bigger danger we're having is there has been a downsizing in the federal government. So when there are problems with our funding, we sometimes don't have anybody to turn to right now because a lot of people have been laid off. That's just a fact. So if there's an issue with a grant or an issue with the funding, or we don't know what to do or how to proceed, it's just taking longer and taking up a lot of my time and my coworkers' time to get the answers that used to be readily available. So that's the current challenges we're facing.
I'm sorry if I'm just, I want you to talk a little bit about the Fresh Start program, which was really, the kids built a house in Strum last year, and how that program is changing.
Sure. Okay, Fresh Start is a program. And again, I won't be able to go into all the details, even though you're a great audience. I know I'm under a time restriction. So Fresh Start is a program that works with young adults, currently between the ages of 18 and 26, who have either dropped out of high school, didn't graduate high school, struggled with their education, and now have no job options, really no future to speak of. Many of them come from really troubled backgrounds, have some run-ins with the law, maybe have some addiction issues. And we have a Fresh Start program where we would take about 20 kids each year and put them to work building a house. At the same time, we would have a teacher work with them and try and complete their high school education. And that was funded through AmeriCorps primarily. That program did get cut and was put on pause, and we did have to lay off 3 of our coworkers. That was the construction worker, a teacher, and a manager who worked with those kids. And then all the kids enrolled in the program were unenrolled temporarily. As that program worked through the courts, because there were lawsuits about was it legal to suspend the funding. It looks like that funding is coming back this fall, but not as much. So we're reworking that program, and we're going to have to form partnerships with other nonprofits, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to hire just 2 employees instead of 3, so a net loss of 1, and we're going to partner with Habitat for Humanity to build the house. So instead of us building the house on our own and putting that out into the housing market and making it available to a low-income family, we're going to not be doing that and just partnering with Habitat for Humanity, hopefully. There's a lot of unknowns right now.
So kids may still have an opportunity to have this
Yes.
experience, but with Head Start, which is, or not Head Start,
Fresh Start.
Habitat, which is really great for both.
Yeah. It should be a good partnership. But again, never before, how do I say this? Okay, so we have been very comfortable over the years. Like I said, Western Dairyland has been around since 1966. Funding comes and goes for reasons we may agree with, for reasons we may not. That's just the nature of it. The federal government passes bills, and sometimes the money comes to us, sometimes it doesn't. Never before has funding been cut in the middle of a grant with no explanation. So that's the unusual part about this time. But we reach out to our representatives, talk to them. They've all been very receptive. They listen to us, and we're working well with everyone. Right. I hope that answers your
Yeah,
question.
I mean, I'm just so,
Yeah.
I just really wanted you guys to be here because what Western Dairyland does so amazing, many amazing things right in our community in Trempealeau County
Thank you.
with Head Start and daycare and the Fresh Start program and transportation and how you worked with the ADRC to get the $100,000 grant that opened the gym at Whitehall. I mean, there's so many wonderful things, positive things that, I just thought you all needed to know that information.
Well, thank you. And that, you mentioned a good point, the fitness center at the Whitehall High School. That's a partnership, and that was part of our strategic plan also, is capacity building and forming alliances. We know we can't do everything, we're not going to do anything, but many times we have the size and scope and the manpower, woman power most of the time actually, to go out there and get things done in our communities and bring the right people to the table to get the funding for something like the fitness center in Whitehall.
Yeah, I loved that partnership.
So even though that won't be branded as a Western Dairyland project,
No, something you did together.
we did that together.
We
Yes,
need more of that.
I agree. Thank you. All right.
Thanks, Dale.
You're very welcome. That was
Thank you for coming.
Of course. Thank you very much.
The
Thank
women's
you.
conference, you were gonna mention that. Sorry.
You're not
I'm
gonna let
sorry,
me go.
I'm not letting him go.
We do have a business development program at Western Dairyland. It's like a small business development program that many universities have through their extension project, but ours is primarily a women's business center. And coming up on November 12th, we have our annual Women's Business Conference. It's the 22nd Annual Women's Business Conference in Eau Claire. And you can go to womensbusinessconference.org to find, no, womensbusinessconference.com to find out more about that. But you're all invited.
It's really great. I've been 5 times. Amazing.
5 times? Yeah.
Amazing women. Yeah, my sister-in-law used to do a presentation there.
I've gone 19 times.
Well, good,
So-
I know.
There we go.
I thought it was for women.
It is. It is. And I've got a great presentation about the Women's Business Ownership Act of 1988 if you're interested. So,
Okay.
all right.
Thanks,
Thank you
Dale.
very much. Have a good day.
Update from Counter Ethics, Susan.
Thank you. I know that many of you were already, have heard most of this at the Executive Finance Committee, so thinking through this today and recognizing that it is later, I will try to hit the high points, but let me know if you have any questions or so forth. It was probably a couple of weeks ago, I had emailed a draft set of a code of conduct, which was incorporating the WCA recommended model, as well as the current portions of our Chapter 2, specifically our 2.02 Rules of the County Board. I also incorporated a survey. That survey was one that was prompted because I was asked how many counties have an ethics code, and I tried to get that information and was not given that information, so I just looked up online. This was a simple survey. I just searched ethics codes online, county by county, and tallied the results. And as I indicated previously, 55 of 72 have specific ethics codes, and they're very easy to find. You can Google these. There were 7 out of 72 that I put in the maybe category. If you look at the survey, it was because they had something, and it's very possible that the remaining ones that I'll talk about in a minute had it, but it didn't make it to their website. But the maybes had something. I could see they had a board, they had something there that indicated they had more. So I put them as maybes. And then there were 10 of 72 that had no ethics code. I did see several of those incorporated the Wisconsin statute, which is 1959, into it. Although you can ask, there's some debate on that position of whether that's sufficient. But if you take those out of it, there are only about 7 counties left, and that is where we are. We are in the remaining 72. And one thing I didn't hit on, and I've been asked this individually, so I want to talk about it broadly. Why would we want an ethics code? I think, it's a clear policy statement, which is why I'm bringing it to you guys, on what your professional expectations are. And it also is a very clear policy statement on that Trempealeau County believes that there's no private benefit from a public position. That's the code summed down, 5 words or so. The other thing is it gives the county a tool to deal with things when they come up. And we've seen, several things in the last several years and also beyond. You can think back, and this is another mechanism of how do you handle it when something does come up. And so I wanted to put that out there too, because there is a procedural aspect of the code, not just a, no private benefit policy part, but there's a procedural. What do you do? How do you go through? How do you work through these issues? And so I just wanted to raise that as well. And if there are any questions, please let me know. I know it was a busy exec finance meeting, so we'll probably spend more time in October is what I understand.
Any questions?
I just think there's no reason why we would not have an ethics code, and we should move forward with this ASAP.
I would agree with that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. University Extension Annual Report. Sarah.
Hi there. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Sarah Torbert. I started in November of last year, so I haven't been here quite a year yet. So I'm going to give an annual report on 2024 or 2025 when I actually wasn't here. So just be forewarned, I'll do my best to answer questions and kind of highlight the things that I did see and that I know about happened. So all of you should have a copy of this. You probably had it in your agenda last month. There was a page missing, so we have the full one back in front of you, so feel free to follow along if you so choose. It's in color in yours, but it looks like this on the front cover. So just to kind of overview what Extension does and why we're here. We're a partnership with the county. So you have a budget for us in an office space, and then the University of Wisconsin Division of Extension also puts money in. Our goal is to basically have the Wisconsin idea in action. So the idea that the university system and research needs to meet the people of the communities. And so we work really hard to get that research and the information out to the communities and bring people together. I think if you know Adam Trunzo, he's someone that is at stuff, bringing people together, getting people working, and kind of does a great job to really highlight what our office is doing. So within there, we have, last year, we were almost full staff for the entire year, which is pretty exciting. We're not this year, so our numbers may look a little bit different, but we are missing right now currently an agriculture agent or educator and also a community development educator just because of people leaving or moving to different positions. But if you look on the page where it talks about in 2024, the people that we've reached, Extension with our 5 to 6 employees that work in our office, we're able to partner with 86 different organizations in the community, which is, unheard of, I think, for that many people. We were able to facilitate 423 programs throughout the year. So if you think about that, that's, 75 to 80 programs per person that work in our office. And so that's a pretty high number of programs. That's over 1 a week that they're doing. And this year they were able to engage over 3,000 people individually. And that doesn't include all the families and other people they affected beyond those direct contacts. And then each of the pages kind of goes through the programs and what they did specifically. So just a few highlights. We were able to train pesticide applicator trainings. There were 57 people that came to the in-person training, plus we do those whenever someone calls our office to be able to get those done. Steve Akanek, when he was here, was very focused on nitrogen in the soil and did a lot of research studies within Trempealeau, Buffalo, and Jackson counties on nitrogen. Our community development educator was Melissa Kono. Many of you probably know Melissa. She's still with Extension, but did move up where she's actually doing the job she did for Trempealeau County statewide in training election workers and working with a lot of government-related programming. She did do I know that our office was very involved last January when you did I think Becky had just kind of started, and so there wasn't a lot of planning for the employee January training, and so I know Extension stepped in and Melissa was integral in doing that. Additionally, she trains election workers and will continue to do that here at our community, and she did receive an award for a programming that she did with the TV station here, and you can see there's a picture of her and Kevin James hanging out there doing a TV program. The next section is our youth and families. That's specifically Adam Trunzo's work. Adam is really good at coalition work and bringing people together. So while he may not have a lot of specific individual programming, he does a lot of things where he's engaged and involved. I think listening to the Dairyland guy, that's what Adam does, is bringing those people together to get grants, do needs assessments, things like that. He also was very integral in the fatherhood conference that's happening in Madison and will be again this year. He does a lot of work with focus on fathers. He does some summer programming with young people people. Science Camp, if any of you are on our committee, you got to actually come this year and see the Science Camp in action. And then I actually got to go to the 8th grade environmental day where Adam brings in 3 or 4 schools down to Brady's Bluff, and they go hiking and visit the lock system, and it's just a really unique experience. I know asking Adam this year what one of his biggest accomplishments was, he said that he was really proud of the work he's done with the Opioid Settlement Committee and kind of moving that group forward to get to a decision on how to spend their money. The next one is FoodWise, kind of piggybacking on some federal cuts. Just so you know, FoodWise was eliminated from the budget and will not be. The last day FoodWise will work here in Trempealeau County is October 1st, so 2025. So we are going to be missing that program moving forward. But if you look at their numbers, they delivered 254 programs here in Trempealeau County and reached over 800 young people. And those programs are focused on low-income programs to help people make healthy food choices and healthy decisions. So lots of exposure for young people to new foods, trying new things, and maybe how to cook and eat foods that are homemade on a budget. And then lastly, the last page is Andrea, who is our Wisconsin, she runs our 4-H program. For those of you who didn't know, Andrea was shared with Jackson County until halfway through last year. And so I think that we're going to see great strides in the next year of things that she's able to do because she's here full time. She was able to start the Folklorio Dance Club. That is a program focused in Arcadia with some of our Latino population that's doing some really great 4-H work. She held Clover College, which introduces young people to different 4-H projects with almost 60 youth in attending. And then she was really integral in doing some after-school programs, and we've really seen those pick up since she's become full-time here in the county. So that's a just short, brief synopsis of what we do in Extension, and I would love to hear any questions you might have or things you want to know more about related to either the annual report or even programming that is happening right now. Yeah.
Since FoodWise reached over 800 kids, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
Is there any way possible that somehow that can be incorporated in other things, or it's just done?
So currently it's just done mostly because we just don't have the capacity to do that. So
Okay.
some of it may be picked up by the health department, some of it may be picked up by the work Andrea and Adam do, but I don't know that it'll specifically be able to reach that many kids.
Okay.
If you have $84,000, I can hire somebody and they can stay here
That'd
and
be
keep
great,
doing the work.
wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly, right? Exactly. But yeah, I think the goal is that we can pick up some of the programming. We did get a grant to do some different programming, but hopefully to be able to utilize some of the skills of our FoodWise people. Adam got a $300,000 grant to implore for 3 years to employ a juntos position that will work with agri-sciences in the schools, specifically focused on Latino populations or Spanish-speaking families to do career exploration. And so it's not a done deal, but we're really hoping that Marielle, who's currently in our office, applies for that position and is able to carry on that work. So we're going to lose her in one place, but hopefully gain some skill sets in another place where we're able to continue to reach populations that are underserved.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
What's the status of the open positions?
I knew it was coming. It's a very good question. So we share the CD. I'll deal with the easy one first. We share the community development educator position with Clark County, which makes things a little bit interesting. That person was supposed to start at the beginning of August, but last minute backed out on us. So Clark County just voted a week and a half ago to continue to, and our committee had voted in July to do this, to continue to move forward on rehiring. And so I'm waiting to hear from, I'm waiting to hear from the state person that works with that program to scope the program to make sure we hire the right person. So that one will be put in the queue for hiring here very soon. The ag position, we did also agree, kind of making sure that it's another shared position, which always makes these interesting. So we shared that position with Buffalo and with Jackson County. And so we put in, and while that position was approved, I think I wanted to make sure with budgets happening the way they are, that I reapproved that with all 3 of our committees just to make sure that they were going to support it financially. So that was done in July, August timeframe, and I put the position in the queue, and it is sitting on the dean's desk and has been for the past 3 weeks. So I would highly suggest, if you would like to know more, you reach out to the Dean of Extension. I can give you his email, or Jason Hausler, who is my supervisor, and ask them, because I've asked that question a few times, and that's where we're at. So, yes.
Sarah, I would like that email
Okay,
if
yep,
possible.
I have it,
And I will send it so we have that. I do commend you for including the agriculture position.
Yeah, sorry.
Because it is a pillar in, as far as the history and the legacy of Trempealeau County. not only the individuals are pillars, but the infrastructure that we maintain. As soon as we lose it, we've lost a lot of the things that we've gained over the 100 years that we had it.
It was probably maybe it was a blessing in disguise that it was left out, because then we can highlight it, but it wasn't left out on purpose. I have no idea why it didn't make it. So I feel like it was like fate, perfect storm kind of thing happening. So.
And if you do announce, make sure you let us know.
Oh, yes, for
Because
sure.
we have great people in the
Yep.
community that could serve us as extension people.
I'll try to send out a similar email to the one that I was able to send out a couple, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, that kind of updated you where we were with those positions. So I'll send that through, Becky, to keep you all informed on what's happening for sure.
And I commend you for an excellent report.
Oh, thank you very much. And so just to give you the heads up, their emails are very easy because they're their first and last name. So it's Jason, Jason, .Hausler, HAUSLER, @WISC.edu. And you can always email me directly and I can get it. And then the other one is Carl Martin, and Carl is with a K, KARL .Martin, MARTIN, @WISC.edu. So feel free if you hear anything, let me know. All right, thank you. Any other questions I can answer? Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed working in the county. It's I'll be super honest, I was a little nervous coming into the place where my previous person that had my job was most of the time, and it's been a very welcoming environment. So I thank everybody for having us, and I'm excited to see where Extension can go in the future. So thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll go on with the administrative update.
I'll
Administrator?
just state also how Sarah is such a great asset to UW Extension and Trempealeau County. She's really great to work with, and really glad to have her a part of the team, because she really has come in and really taken on a lot of challenges, but really has done just a great job. So I appreciate working with her. I just want to go over the update that you have on your desk, and I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible, but I want to give you the administrator update report. This is from the last month, the last time we met. So we've put together that great communications team, Lexi at the helm, and we've put together our monthly newsletters now. You should have gotten digital copies of those. I did put printed copies on your desk tonight. So that's our August and September. You can take a look at those. We are improving our social media presence, and we've seen some increased likes and things and engagement through that. And tourism promotion this week especially. We had a visiting bike group that toured the county, has been coming here for years. Thanks to a tip from Renee Lyon. She had contacted myself and the communications department, and I just want to give a shout out to Kevin. He met with them, captured video footage, and conducted interviews, and we're going to put that into a marketing video to highlight Trempealeau County's scenic countryside and biking. So I'm very appreciative to Renee and to Kevin for pulling that together, and of course Lexi and her oversight of that. Employee benefits and open enrollment. This is a big transition that we're moving to right now. Transitioning to supplemental benefits are where we've always carried life insurance, cancer insurance, short-term disability, and maybe a couple of others. And it's been managed through the HR department, through a very wonderful person who is very capable, Shelley Reitman, but she's also working as an insurance agent. And so we are going to reduce the administrative burden that's on our department by having actual insurance agents cover those plans and take care of those plans. And we've been working with the insurance company that they have a really great group for us to work with. They're going to come in, work with everyone to sit down and get everybody implementing and putting in their programs so they can switch over easily. So we're looking forward to that change. That'll all happen during open enrollment, which comes up in October, where we sit down and pick benefits and such again, have health insurance and open enrollment. So of course, budget finance, I've done all the one-on-one meetings with county department heads, prepping for 2026 budget. I gave you the initial budget presentation. We're behind the scenes pulling together additional numbers right now. And I just want to thank Amy Bergeson, who's really been integral in putting and compiling the work and organizing the budget data. And so further meetings to come where we talk about that. Continued to address multiple HR-related matters and personnel discussions that are going on, held our monthly management team meeting with department head leadership. Attended the Seven Rivers Alliance meeting focused on advancing housing projects in the region. Attended the Joint Review Board meeting in Osseo regarding amending TID number 3. We did a couple meetings recently with collaborating with university again, partnering with UW-Madison students to explore development of a mobile app for Trempealeau County that will put those bike trails on an app, put the water trail on an app for people. We also have audio that has been done in the past for a car tour. And in our research that we found when we did the GEM grant, a lot of the feedback that came back was saying people like to come here and just drive and for the scenery. And so in the past, a CD had been developed talking about the history and the countryside of Trempealeau. Well, a lot of people don't have CD players anymore. Maybe,
Yeah.
do you?
No.
No, don't even put them in cars anymore. So we want to take that and maybe put that onto the app as well. So those are all things. Again, Lexi is going to be now working with this university team. And so I'm pretty excited to see what can come out of that. Things are hopping here at the Government Center. I think everybody is on up to here. I guess I'll just say the dispatch center is coming and going to be opening in October. So IT is scurrying around, scheduling, figuring that out. Our building rehab is moving along nicely. The offices are starting to open up in the second floor, so we're starting to transition people. The communications department is moving up out of the basement. The clerk's office, Chair Austin, they're all coming up. Land information, zoning, conservation, IT, UW Extension. Then administration in the corner is going to go down into the clerk's office so that they can finish that space off. But if you come up there, it is unbelievable, the transformation to have light. It is really very nice. It's very bright and welcoming. The space looks wonderful once it's all cleaned up and people are back in. I think will really appreciate it. It's just looking fantastic. Then we'll start moving to the first floor, of course. Right now, as I stated, things are a little stressful. We have the UKG payroll and timekeeping system coming and launching. So this week we're starting with introducing that to department heads and some staff. And in the next 2 weeks, that's going to be implemented. So people are actually going to be going into the system and punching in. So please understand, you're going to probably hear about some pain right now. There are always some bumps and headaches during this time, but we feel like, we're up at the top of the hill. So it's a good feeling, but it's been a tremendous amount of work. So I want to thank Stacy Silla. She has done a lot of training on this system, and we're very thankful to her and all of the work that she's put into payroll to get this up and running, as well as Shelley Reitman on the benefits side. She's done a tremendous amount of work in transferring data and information. Lisa Nelson with helping with HR policy changes and such that have to go into this as well. And then Tyler Financial System, that's still working progress as well, so that you got our financial teams really booked and working hard on all of these things. Again, Amy Bergeson at the helm with that and getting all of our financial teams. So anyone that deals with finances in any of the departments is having to attend a lot of meetings. And so we're looking at the end of November, beginning of December to start rolling that out. So that will be coming too. Put on your radar that the coroner model discussion that we've talked about, that'll be scheduled for consideration in October. The Broadway Equity Access and Deployment BEAD funding that had been talked about quite a bit in looking at broadband and things for the county. It had gone through a process of grant writing that our individuals could apply for grant funds. With the administration change, some of that grant funding changed as well. And so instead of fiber, that was kind of the plan, is to push for fiber to come to homes. The more of the push will be to Starlink. And so that appears to be what will happen, is that the contracts for these grants will go to Starlink to provide internet. So, yes, go ahead.
I need a little more clarity on that. What does exactly that mean?
I don't know if I can give you a whole lot of clarity. What I
Okay.
can tell you.
How is that different from what TCC has with DSL? That's all in the northern part of the county, which I have fiber optics where I am.
So fiber is in the ground and it
Right.
goes to your house.
Right.
Starlink is the satellite up in the sky.
Sky. So some of us will be underground and some of us will be in the air.
Right. Right.
Will the two work together?
I don't know a whole lot about that, but I should say, so the map, they do, this is all, UW Extension kind of helped through this conversation, but the map that is shown is for coverage in the southern part of the county, our county, where it doesn't have as good a service. So that's
Right.
primarily where Starlink has gotten the grant funds, is for the lower half of the county. So to your point, no, you're going to stay with the fiber up there.
Okay, but we don't know how they'll interface or work together.
No, I
or-
don't know that, yeah.
Can I
Interesting.
answer a little on that,
Oh.
Rebecca?
Yeah.
With the Starlink, you've got the normal, like Clark County's got satellite that they've had with IVIS, and they've served some of us in Trempealeau County. I've been on them for probably 8 years. The advantage to the Starlink is you have more satellites at a lower level. So their claim, of course, through Elon Musk, is that it's a more effective satellite service. But we did ask at the emergency workshop if, when you have a storm or something come through, is it dependable internet? And it was 100% no when I asked the emergency people. So there's still a weakness to the BEAD grants going to Starlink because it isn't a direct connection that will be operative during emergencies, during times when people really would have to have
Right,
it.
right.
So I don't know if you'd say it was 100%. We're never going to get up to your level with fiber optic in the southern part of
No,
the county.
I feel blessed, really,
And I think that was some of the argument that was brought up, is that they, like, people really wanted the fiber because of that. And, but there's a change in administration, so just like, some things change and they're going a different direction. So that's the push right now.
And the cost is dropped.
I think Adi wants to say something.
Mr.
Oh, go
Chair.
ahead.
Yeah, the Starlink has nothing to do with TCC. It is correct that they have lower orbiting satellites, but the latency is there. You don't quite get the speeds all the time with them either.
Mm.
And like Kevin says, they're not as reliable in bad weather. And it was a change in administration, but they were BEAD before that was looking at redoing it because they didn't get as many applications as they thought, because some of the restrictions they placed on it were just so severe that they went back and looked at it and they opened it up a little bit more. And but to answer your question, Jeannie, no, it's not as good as fiber, but they'll tell you it's almost as good. But everybody knows that the latency there will never give you the speeds that you'll get with fiber.
But anything's better than nothing when you're in Trempealeau and you have no bars and you can't call anybody from the park. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
And there's no direct relationship between the fiber optic, whereas if we had a full fiber optic system, it'd be uniform and you could go right through it. There's no linkage between Starlink and anything else that we have around here. So if you put something out information-wise, for example, if there was something that needed to go to all the community members on their internet, it'd be hard to hook Starlink to the same information system we'd use as the fiber optic that you guys got with TCC.
This is what we're going to get for now.
Now.
Okay, and I'll just finish up here. I just do want to address a couple of things that I'm sure some of you have heard some feedback from constituents in the county related to tax payments and such. So the treasurer's office is addressing recent issues with property tax payments. Some taxpayers have experienced incorrect postings, and so that's leading to notification to those individuals that interest charges and late fees are coming to those individuals. We internally have had a discussion, and there seem to be some outside issues that are happening. So we've been addressing that to talk internally.
and that we're going to have a discussion regarding this topic planned at the October Exec Finance Committee so that we can talk about that. Anybody that has received notification that their payment is late, that they owe back taxes, back interest payments, they should hold off on that because we are going to address and have that conversation at the October Exec Finance Committee meeting. Any questions about that?
I feel like I have a million questions tonight.
Let me just say the next one, and then because that has to relate also on the treasurer's office, there were identified discrepancies in payments to towns, villages, cities, the over and under distributions that have normally been paid. But those are actively being corrected so that we ensure accuracy going forward. So just in case you hear things too coming from the townships or villages, that's something a little bit of a quirk too there.
So will people be notified to like just don't send a check for, okay. They'll get notification to just relax and not stress out right away.
I'm not sure. I mean, so far how it's being handled is individuals as they're calling in, they're being told just hold off right now.
All right.
I have I think a quasi-related issue here. We have a major election coming up in November of next year. And I guess I would encourage Mary to be in attendance if she isn't at this meeting, because the problems that you're referring to have to do with postmarking, and we have people sending in their ballots, and we want everybody counted. So I think that's not directly related, but in a way it is.
It is, and I think the thing to remember is that as with voting, there's state law. And just as with the taxes, so by law, there's state statute says that you need to have your envelope postmarked by such and such a date. It's your responsibility, not the post office. So if you want to make sure that it's postmarked by a certain date, you need to make sure to take it to the counter and see it postmarked so that it is. And that's on you to do that. Now, we have some other circumstances that are happening that we're investigating right now through the post office that make this a broader issue that we do feel that that we need to look at it further. But on a case by case issue, you really do have to make sure that it's your responsibility as the voter or as the taxpayer.
And I think it would behoove Mary, since she's sitting here listening, to advise voters when they somehow, way, shape, or form that they must take on this responsibility, and we want everybody's vote counted.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. In fact, a constituent had called me today and said the same. Could we put something in the paper? Could we use our social media? Things like that. And going forward is to remind people that, it is their responsibility. So we will do that in the future.
Go ahead. You have a comment to make? Just come up to the speaker and he's the town chairman too, so.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak. It's just a few comments regarding this approximate $3 million overage to all the school districts, towns, and so forth. I've gotten a lot of calls too as an elected official, and these are just some commentary that I would suggest the board to just look at. Again, with the $3 million, even my township, I got an invoice that we have to repay over $100,000, as many of you have. Please look at processes to see the root cause analysis, and also have a backup plan for some of the towns, school districts, and so forth. How should they repay this if some have spent the money? Now, we haven't had that money that long, so that shouldn't be an issue, but just in the event that there are some of those questions. It looks like, Government Solutions was involved with this, and and numbers were presented and so forth. So once again, just really striving to look at solutions of how this came about. There's a lot of frustrated people out there, and I would recommend also maybe putting something out there to try to simmer that with some of the constituents. And if there's other concerns that have brought up with the inaccuracies, I'm just recommending to please look at this very carefully as we go forward. That's a lot of money that people are having to pay back, and it's quite significant. So thank you.
Okay.
Then as a reminder, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wisconsin Counties Association Annual Conference. We'll see many of you there. And October, November are shaping up to be especially busy months with office relocations, new software implementation, opening of new dispatch space, employee benefits enrollment, and continued development of the budget process. So I just want to thank everybody as we navigate this demanding period and for your patience.
Okay, thank you.
I gotta,
Oh, go
Mr.
ahead,
Chair.
Richard. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Adi.
Sure. I just got a question. If the administrator could come up with who gave the incorrect numbers to the Treasury Department. I mean, how did this come about? We haven't had this issue before, and for maybe the next Exec Finance Committee, we'd like to know who gave it to it. Was it state, or was it Government Solutions, or because that seems to be the problem, is the information that she was given. It'd be nice to get it straightened out, because I too have received quite a few calls from townships and schools on this. So
Yeah, I guess
it'd be
that
nice
would.
to get the right information.
I guess that would depend on who you ask. So right now we have Lori Halama back in the office helping in the office. So
I don't
guess-
think it's going to matter who you ask, because the truth should come out and everybody will have the same answer. So it doesn't matter who you ask. I think we just got to get down to the bottom of this, and all of us as a group sit down and say, okay, this is where the fault was, and we move on, get rid of that, and move on to a better way to do it. Because obviously this time it didn't work, and not looking for somebody to axe. It's just something we must straighten out. And if it's Government Solutions or whoever it is, maybe a change is needed.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I also agree with Supervisor Adi. We should get to the bottom of this. Thank you. Bottom of this.
Okay, Richard.
Just one comment. Well, first, a question. All the towns and the cities and the school districts, they've been notified, I assume.
Yes.
That's taken care of. And I do agree that we got to find who's accountable for making this kind of a mistake. You can't send that much money out to different towns and villages, and they get it. They're going to think it's Christmas and the money's gone, and how are we going to recoup it? And we just won't look good. So no doubt that has to be taken care of. One other comment I got is I got some phone calls on it too. In fact, I was in town and got jumped by it, or asked, I should say, what was going on, and I didn't know anything about it. So I would ask, when something like this comes out, Mr. Chair, and that you send a notification out to the supervisors and let us know that what's going on. And if you did, I don't look at my email every day, then I apologize if you did send it out, but I hadn't seen anything. But that would really help us to give us an understanding of what's going on, and then we can tell them who to contact, who to talk to.
Makes sense. I just found it out through Town of Pigeon, and because my wife's the treasurer there, and
Well, this don't happen every day, I get that.
no,
But
and that was just this weekend. So last Friday, was it? Last Thursday?
It was last Thursday.
Last Thursday.
our
Yeah.
budgets are tight enough the way it is, and
Yeah.
we can't lose any money.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I agree with what people have said, but I think there's so much angst in the world, and this is kind of a big deal. And I think if we just are thoughtful and patient and not ready to just blame somebody and give somebody the axe, and to just be careful in looking at how this happened with grace and professionalism and not anger and meanness and, let's axe somebody. Just if we could be a little kinder, people, because I got a few calls too, and some of them were angry. But I didn't know. I only knew because you just told me Thursday briefly so it's hard. But anyway, if we could just be calmer.
Okay, any other comments? It's good. We'll go on to item 6, resolutions. It's Environmental Land Use Committee.
Whereas Anthony and Tamara Munson, landowner, Anthony and Tamara Munson, petitioner, Strum, Wisconsin, has requested the rezone of a parcel of land in the town of Unity to change back to original zoning. Whereas the rezone is approximately 2 acres, more or less, and whereas a public hearing was held pursuant to section 59.69 parentheses 5 of the Wisconsin statutes, and whereas the town of Unity supports the rezone request, and whereas the Environment and Land Use Committee moved to rezone part of this parcel from industrial to exclusive Ag 2, and that the zoning change request is appropriate under the circumstances. Now be it resolved that the county adopt the attached ordinance amending the zoning district boundaries as indicated, introduced by Environment and Land Use Committee, Callan Nelson, David Larson, Randy Severson, Stacy Klein, Andrew Todd, Kevin Whalen, and Anthony Munson is on, and he abstained.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Supervisor Nelson, seconded by Supervisor Nutter. Any discussion at all? No, we'll just call the roll. Did you have a comment? Yeah. I didn't hear anybody coming.
More than happy not to talk.
I was trying to move it along,
Oh, I'm not Verge, sorry. Well, this one was, there's a couple small scale salvage yards that were zoned industrial, and they're just moving in a different direction. They're both passed away now, and their property is gonna be put back to what it was prior. There's one coming up next month also. And this one here was Town of Unity, the next one will be Burnside. And it's the smaller scale salvage yards with individuals that got leaned on a little bit because they had too many junk cars, so they thought, oh, we'll just get zoned as a salvage yard. So, and it's pretty minimal.
Okay, any other questions? Not, we'll call the roll.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Callan Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson,
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Seychelles.
Yes.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams,
Yes.
Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Dawn Trug,
Yes.
15 to 2.
Okay, item B, Executive Finance Committee. Law Enforcement and Emergency Management Personnel Bargaining Committees. This is transfer of the opioid funds for the Sheriff's Office.
Whereas Trempealeau County has received funding through the National Opioid Settlement to address and mitigate the impacts of the opioid crisis within the county. Whereas permitted uses of the opioid settlement funds include support for law enforcement and related programs focused on prevention, intervention, treatment, and recovery from opioid use disorder. And such permissible uses expressly include the provision of warm handoff opioid use disorder, OUD, programs for recovery and transitional purposes. Whereas a substantial number of persons booked into the Trempealeau County Jail experience an OUD that requires addiction support services during and after jail custody. Whereas the Trempealeau County Sheriff's Office has has proposed the creation of a community reentry coordinator position to assist individuals, those with OUDs, to transition from incarceration to the community, helping them access treatment, housing, employment, and support services. And whereas the proposed community reentry coordinator position would require technology needs such as a laptop computer, desktop computer, and computer peripherals. And whereas this initiative aligns with the objectives of the opioid settlement and offers the potential to reduce recidivism and improve long-term recovery outcomes for individuals impacted by opioid use. And whereas the Trumpealeau County Opioid Settlement Fund Committee has reviewed and supports this use of settlement funds, and it approved the amount up to $320,000 to be used for this position. Now be it resolved that the Trumpealeau County Board of Supervisors authorizes the transfer of $86,472.40 from the county's opioid settlement fund to the Trumpealeau County Sheriff's Office 2026 budget for the creation and support of a community reentry coordinator position. These funds may be used for wages, benefits, training, and program-related expenses associated with the position. Be further resolved that the community reentry, number one, the community reentry coordinator position shall be subject to and dependent on the availability of opioid settlement funds. Once the designated funds are exhausted, the position shall be discontinued unless alternate funding is secured and approved. After the 2026 budget cycle, the Trumpealeau County Sheriff's Office may incorporate this position and payment from these funds in its annual departmental budgeting process. Number two, the Trumpealeau County Sheriff's Office shall provide annual progress reports to the Opioid Settlement Fund Committee and the County Board, outlining the use of the funds, program outcomes, and recommendations for future funding needs while this position exists and continues to use opioid settlement funds. Be it finally resolved that this resolution shall take effect upon adoption by the appropriate county governing bodies, introduced by Executive Finance Committee Dave Larson, John Austin, Bridget Turner, Richard Seisha, Robert Becker. Also co-introduced by Law Enforcement Committee / Emergency Management, Ron Johnson, Stacy Klein, Dawn Waldera, Kevin Whalen, and also co-introduced by Personnel Bargaining Committee, Kellen Nelson, John Austin, Renee Lyon, and Ron Johnson.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Motion made by Supervisor Nair, seconded by Supervisor Johnson. Any questions at all? No, we'll just call the roll.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Seisha.
Yes.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams,
Yes.
Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Dawn True,
Yes.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson,
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
15-2.
Okay, passes. Highway Committee, this is a annual one, the Coed Bridge construction. Under Wisconsin statutes 82.08.
Whereas the various towns hereinafter named have filed petitions for county aid in the construction of bridges under section 82.08 of the Wisconsin statutes. Now be it resolved that the said petitions are hereby granted and the county share appropriated for year 2026 as follows. The townships start with Arcadia, Searle Sabota Bridge. Local is $6,288.63. County, same, oh, sorry, it's 1 penny off, $6,288.62 for a total of $12,577.25. Also for Arcadia Middle Road Bridge, local share is $1,271.49. County shares $1,271.50, a total of $2,542.99. For the town of Burnside, Fila and Wolf Bridge, local share is $8,750.45. County share the same, total $17,500.90. For town of Hale, Johnson Valley Bridge, local share $12,104.66. County share the same, grand total $24,000. $209.32. Town of Lincoln, Poker Cooley Bridge, fourth local is $4,244.62. The county is $4,244.61 for a total of $8,489.23. For the town of Pigeon Bridge, Tillman Hanson, local shares $3,469.79. County shares $3,469.78 for a total of $6,939.57. Town of Trempealeau Sullivan Bridge, local shares $11,927.19. County shares $11,927.50 for a total of $23,854.39. Grand totals for local is $48,056.83. County share $48,056.82 for a grand total of $96,113.65. Introduced by the Trumbull County Highway Committee, John Austin, Callan Nelson, Rich Anderson, Dave Larson, and Robert Becker.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Anderson, and second by Supervisor Nelson. If there are no questions on it, we'll just call the roll. Oh, go ahead.
Looks like there's just a typo. Is the county share for Trempealeau supposed to be 20 cents instead of 50?
Could be. Because it is a chunk.
That probably is a typo. And he said he double checked them when we were at the meeting. So. Didn't he say he double checked those while we were at the meeting? They were double checked. So. Well. We'll get it straightened out anyway. It's basically right. So, call the roll.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Seisha,
Yes.
Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Abstain.
Okay. Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Don Trug, I lost her.
Dawn, did we lose you?
Robert Becker.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. Yes, my vote's yes.
Okay. Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson.
Yes.
Okay. 14, 2, and 1.
Did we have all there on that one?
It's, I don't know, she changed it.
Oh, okay.
So that passed.
That passes. Item D, Audit Committee, claims of members.
Whereas the Audit Committee has audited the following claims and recommend that they be allowed as follows. John Austin, $1,290.50. Kevin Adams, 0. Richard Anderson, $357.10. Robert Becker, $344.80. Ron Johnson, $383. Stacy Klein, $473.60. David Larson, $747.80. Renee Lyon, $365.40. Dick Miller, $222.40. Kellen Nelson, $68.20. Jeannie Nutter, 0. Richard Seisha, $359.20. Lori Severson, $133.60. Andy Todd, $228.40. Bridget Turner, 0. Dawn Trug, $219.60. Kevin Whalen, $420. Total per diem, $4,250. Total expenses, $1,363.60 for a grand total of $5,613.60. Now be it resolved that the claims be allowed as shown, signed by Audit Committee John Austin, Stacy Klein, and Richard Seisha.
I'll second that.
Motion by Supervisor Johnson, second by Supervisor Turner. Call the roll.
John Austin,
Yes.
Don Trug,
Yes.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson.
Yes.
David Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Seisha,
Yes.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams,
Yes.
Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
15-2.
True, vote.
What's that?
The crew must have voted, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Announcements, did you have anything? No announcements or appointments?
I have an announcement.
Okay.
Our office is supposed to move starting on Thursday, so we'll be a little bit in transition Thursday, Friday.
Maybe you might want to repeat that again. No one's listening.
Hold on a
Then they
second.
won't find us.
Hold on.
So
Say it again.
the clerk's office will be
Sorry.
moving Thursday and Friday, so we'll be in transition during those days. And so Monday, we won't be settled, but we'll be in our office upstairs where the north courtroom used to be. So we need to move, as Rebecca said, so that HR can get downstairs so they can keep remodeling the second floor. Thank you.
Okay. Committee reports, you have a copy of the general fund and the sales tax?
They were both in there.
Yeah.
The general fund is looking real good after the auditors got done, so that's real healthy. They can check it out. Then sales tax is keeping up with budget and a little bit more. So that's good at this point.
Mr. Chair, that special meeting regarding the budget is, what is the date on that again? Just as a reminder.
October 2nd, but I think we have to look at the time. And so I'll have to get back to you after talking. with-
October 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna be out west.
That's exec finance for a special
I don't
meeting.
need to be there?
No, no.
No, I was speaking of the special meeting, board meeting.
Oh, special board meeting?
I'm sorry, yes. That's the 14th, is it? 15th.
15th, that's correct.
Yeah, October.
I'll be here.
No, 10 o'clock.
That's at 10 a.m. You were gonna.
No, that's October.
No,
You got November meetings during the day. Otherwise.
So I think what you wanted to talk about. It's,
we had changed that at the last meeting. Yes, 15th, yes, at October 15th at 10 a.m. On the 20th. That's a
Wednesday too?
That's the regular board meeting,
So 10 a.m.?
7 p.m.
So that's a special budget.
Those dates, huh?
The 7 p.m. on the 20th is our regular board
And then our
meeting.
regular board.
But that's for everybody on the 15th. So if I'm
We
going, it
had
don't matter.
had a meeting the week earlier that we changed to the 15th at 10 a.m. instead of that one.
Wednesdays I can't get here.
so there is no meeting the Monday, the 13th, October 13th.
Correct.
That's done, okay.
So what are our dates now? So I got it clear? Okay.
The October
Clear as
2nd
mud.
is the exec finance special meeting, which we'd have to look at the time again.
Okay.
And then October 15th at 10 a.m., that's all board. And then October 20th is our regular scheduled meeting for the board at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And then November 12th at 10 a.m. for the annual meeting.
Once more, Rebecca,
Sure.
just so I have them all right.
October 2nd for the exec finance, but we don't know the time.
October 15th.
October 15th at 10 a.m., all board meeting for budget workshop. October 20th is our regular board meeting in the evening. And then November 12th is the annual meeting at 10 a.m.
Oh, that's September.
Yeah, November 11th, where it was normally supposed to be in November, is
October 2nd
Veterans
is a
Day, so
Thursday.
it's moved
Right,
back
it's a
one day.
special meeting.
And that doesn't affect me. For some reason,
Oh, okay, okay.
so we don't have to change that.
Okay, so we had it at 8 a.m. then for that, okay. I just wasn't sure about the time, so 8 a.m. on October 2nd.
We're doing that on the 2nd at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
that's
about
just
that.
exec finance, a special meeting, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
The 15th, I can't be here, but that won't matter because everybody's going to be here.
okay, yeah.
Okay. All
Oh, goodness.
Thanks, Doc.
So the second is no at 8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, the October 2nd then is at 8 a.m.
Okay. Any correspondence? No? No? No correspondence? With that, we can adjourn at 8:20.